What's up, everyone? Lumus here from Failing at Gaming. And I'm having yet another go at Rocket Knight Adventures to start out tonight. We tried this one out at the start of last week as well, and it didn't go very well. He is hoping for better this time. Let me just type this into chat since I added it. So what I'm playing on here is the hidden ultimate difficulty mode. When you beat hard mode, you unlock super hard mode, and when you beat super hard mode, you unlock crazy hard mode. As it says in chat, I have 1 hit point right now, and no spare lives. I can get more lives, I can't get more hit points. So this is as hard as the game gets, basically. I've played the heck out of this game, but I've never beaten this difficulty. So we'll see where we get to tonight. There's kind of damage boosting here, I guess. It's a thing I use a lot through this run. Basically, the enemies can't hit you for like half a second after you hit them. So you can defend yourselves against a lot of the large creatures just by hammering them over and over so they can't actually touch you. Now this part's a bit of a pain. I think we've gotten through it okay though. Oh, never mind. We had a surprise. That's the first time I've seen one fall this far. Basically those guys fall in random places, so even having played this game a million times, sometimes they surprise me and one of them lands on me and then it's game over, because I don't have anything else left at this point. That is where a lot of my runs end. I've gotten lucky lately, but lifelong, probably the place where the most of my runs have ended. There we go. Got ourselves an extra life now, so we've got a bit of safety. Bunch of apples that are healing items that we can't use. Uh-oh. Okay, that wasn't ideal. Ideally, you don't land on a pig soldier's sword right there. As in most situations in life, that's not something you usually want to achieve. Let's give this another go. Fortunately, there's a life between the checkpoint and there, so it doesn't really matter how many times I die on those. A little further forward. Those guys and this guy are basically puzzle bosses in that they're surprisingly tough unless you know the one weird trick that lets you beat them. For example, this guy can't turn around. Although he is really good at surfing. Let's see. We just want to get him locked in here. Safety strats. Don't let the guy go flying everywhere. Keep him in a corner. Oh boy. As I intentionally demonstrated there, if he gets out of his loop, then he's suddenly surprisingly difficult. Nice, off to a great start. Although to be fair, last week's run got off to a genuinely great start and then went terrible. So maybe the fact that I've now died 3 times on the first level is actually a good sign. Maybe I'm using up all of my bad luck on the easy bits. I can't remember the last time any of these guys killed me, and they've killed me twice tonight. What am I doing wrong? I might be distracted a little bit by the searing pain in my throat. I've been playing with my niece. I've spent the last hour as a dinosaur, chasing her around and roaring. And my throat is now in full protest mode. Okay, let's do this right this time. Just juggling. Here we go, first flying level. I do like the flying levels. It's like they're used gracefully, you know? There's only a few of them. If they'd overused it, then maybe it probably wouldn't have worked. There's a good example of me hitting a guy to protect myself. Now I just need to avoid this deadly wall and... well, that's one way to enter a castle. People probably remember you when you do it that way. I don't know whether pig soldiers aren't well organized or whether they just... You can't hear? Like, is it... Oh, okay, you're watching... I thought you were saying my mic was broken. You're watching me on mute. That makes this conversation hard to have for me. Let me just type something into chat. There we go. Not that you can hear me saying this, but it does help a lot just to have the views. Even if... I mean, talking in chat helps the most, because a good chat makes a good stream. Like, it's not much of a stream without you guys, but... You know, just watching, just getting those views, that also helps. And, you know, I appreciate that, and also, as long as you're enjoying it, that's great. I mean, not that I don't enjoy playing these games, but I wouldn't be streaming them without you guys there to enjoy them with me. So yeah, Lady Meow, if you happen to watch the replay on YouTube, thanks for stopping by. I think you still have a perfect record. You've been here for every single one of my streams. So I think you are legally classified as my biggest fan. Even when it involves burning all of your, what do you call it, your phone data when you're away, just to poke your nose in. Thanks for that. Okay, see if we can get this guy in one round. This guy has only one thing that he does that's a problem, but the thing that he does is a pain. So ideally you want to kill him in one loop. So that he only does it once. Here we go, the spiders. They're not like a huge threat, but they're just kind of awkward. So you have to hit the command spider just here. And, oh, yeah, see, if you don't hit it on your first attack, you quite often land on the spiders. So So yeah, ideally you want to do him in one round, so you only have to face the spiders once. Oh boy, that was not a well done jump. There we go. He's fairly easy to one round, to be fair. In one lap he has one more vulnerability than he does hit points, so you can miss one attack and still get him. Also, this guy illustrates an oddity in this game. Only one spider in the first lap, huh? He does this occasionally, and I'm not sure why. The first round he'll just drop one spider instead of two. And then here, look, he'll drop the last spider. Okay, and that puts the red one in it. Actually in a slightly easier spot, but hey. So yeah, we want to finish him up here so he doesn't do that again. But yeah, as you've seen, I've got the charge up dash attack that does massive damage. But like I say, this guy illustrates the strangeness in this game in that it doesn't do massive damage to most bosses. Which is why I'm just hitting him with basic attacks. It's a perfect victory pose. Most bosses die in a certain number of hits rather than a certain amount of damage, so there's actually not much enemies that using the dash attack on is good for. Unless it's just that they're awkward to hit. Bit of a weird quirk. Listening to blues instead of the sound. Yeah, you'll have to find out if I win on YouTube. Blues is exactly the right kind of music for this playthrough. Some mournful tunes as I die a heck of a lot. I'm not 100% sure what this robot is supposed to be, but I think he's kind of cool. Also, he briefly looks like he's going to destroy the universe when you kill him, so there's the thing. Stylish jet skis. Let's see, there we go, one up. Diamonds, I can't eat these and therefore they're still worth picking up. Okay, nope, okay. It's turning into a weird run. That does not, I swear that never happens. Everything's going everywhere. But I've only died in places, I've died a whole bunch, but I've only died in places where there's been one-ups, so I've technically not lost any lives yet. Let's see how I can do on this one. This guy is super easy if you get his pattern right, and super annoying if you don't. When I was first learning, this is one of the really hard bosses. But as long as you stand in the right place, he's not actually that much of a threat. Although I'm a little annoyed I didn't get him in one round, though. Why is he taking so long to kill today? What am I doing differently? Am I just missing a lot? Hey Novellon, I'm having another go at this. Lady Meow has been stricken stricken deaf by the terrible music she listens to, so you may have to narrate to her. Just type out every single thing that I say, okay? Explain to her that I'm not currently getting eaten, but that is always a worry for opossums such as me. Yeah, Lady Meow is out somewhere tonight and is burning up her precious phone data to tune in. I don't know how long she's planning to stick around for. Hopefully it's a while, but I also don't want her to waste all her data on me. Clear out all of these spikes. When I do whoops. Okay, I messed that up. When I do this on my own, this is one of the more boring areas of the game. But when I'm streaming, it's kind of a relief, because it gives me a chance to actually see what chat's doing for once. This place is a nightmare, so we're going to cheese it. In several senses. And we'll go catch a train. The height of opossum technology. I mean, sure, the pigs have giant robots and things, but... Okay, that was... I didn't think that got me, to be honest, but... Alright. I'll accept it. Yeah, the enemy have all kinds of crazy robots and stuff, but none of them have trains. Train technology has long been lost to this setting. Our minecarts are the closest substitute. The other nation said we're playing with fire, but hey, what do they know? You've got a working railway. That results in almost no fatalities on a daily basis. I've lost count. How many was that? Was that 9, 10? Is that 13? It was 13. Did he blow himself up there? Did not know that could happen. So yeah, they swap sides on certain numbers. On the 5th one you get a double, and on the 13th you get a double. Since their bombs have unpredictable trajectories, you want to keep track of that. And try and kill them before they throw too many. When you've got 1 hit point, anything unpredictable is a nightmare. Those are what scare you. Cheese! That's what we've learned from Sir Chauncey. First you get the cows, then you get the milk, then you get the cheese. Having a photo taken. Everybody say fuzzy opossums. And here we have the ghost train. Yeah, of course we've got the burb. We're okay for now. There he goes. See, the goal here is to keep the burb for as long as possible. That's essentially vital. So we got it into the first boss stage, like halfway through it, so that's not terrible, but ideally you want to keep it for the whole boss fight. It's hard to do, though. So yeah, this here is why train technology was lost to the ages. As a kid, I always thought that this guy was made by the pigs, but we've recently discovered that we were mistaken in this assumption. Actually, the Fat Controller bricked this guy up in a cave centuries ago, and his vengeful spirit escaped onto the railways and now stalks these lines, preventing the development of further technology in the train arena. That's the real reason for this war. The pigs are invading us to put a stop to our little minecarts in the fear of essentially this train. Hey Diz, yeah, we're fighting a ghost train once again. How are you today? Ha, take that, ghost train. A grim spectre from a forgotten age. The more railways you have, the more likely the ghost train is. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Oh, okay. I thought I was dead, though. Some improv acrobatics. So here's another little, it's not really an exploit, but a thing you'll want to make use of. Is that if you're close enough to the enemy, that's going to be really hard to dodge. Oh, dang it. That was not good for me. So both your sword and your ranged attack do damage, so if you're close enough, you can hit them with both at once. And double your DPS. Obviously it comes with more risk, but with that guy and his unpredictable shots, as he just demonstrated, you just want to kill that guy as fast as possible. More burbs. A week off work, so you're being so lazy. That's kind of what weeks off work are for. At least you decided to spend tonight doing something important and productive. Although I don't know where you were yesterday. You're almost as bad as Asma. Alright, let's break this guy's face again. Yeah, so here you want to hit the hands just as they come level with you. As long as you do that, he can't actually damage you, because his hands will phase out for that split second. But it's all about the timing. Everyone at work was asking if you were doing anything this week and you were struggling to not just say watching TV in your pajamas and playing games. I'm surprised when I ask people what they're doing on their days off and they don't say that. I just don't understand some people. Okay, get under that one. There we go. We've dealt with the ghost train and he's vanishing once more into the spirit world. But he won't be gone forever. This is one enemy that will always come back. And as we freeze frame at the end of this level, we can see that Sparkster is just about to sneeze. You were at choir yesterday? Okay, I'll grudgingly accept that that's fair. I don't know. I don't see how I can... I don't know if I can support you in you using your hobby to entertain people. You know, I think it'd be really better if you used your free time to support me as I entertain people. A lot of people you work with have kids, so they don't understand the concept of being lazy. All the more reason to never have kids. Ideally have somebody else's kids. I've got a niece and she's great. I can play dinosaur games with her. And then I don't have to clean up afterwards. Somebody else feeds her and changes her nappy and does all the hard work. I just get to be a dinosaur and roar a lot. I mean, it's all I really want from life, being a dinosaur. Singing Christmas songs? It's not even Halloween yet! Outrageous. Okay, welcome to the stress zone. This level isn't that hard, but it's guaranteed to raise your blood pressure. Spikes everywhere, and these fish are as random as it gets. That same fish got me twice in a row there. That wasn't random. He did the exact same thing, and I just wasn't ready for it. This is not turning out to be the best run ever. Okay, squeak under there. Yeah, the fish are really unpredictable, and you don't have much room to dodge. This level's a nightmare. This might be the hardest level in this run. Like, the only reason I die less at this than at some of the later levels is because I practiced this more because it's earlier. Oh, I was charging my thing. I was charging my laser. Nope. Leave me be. Back, fishies, back. Whoever designed this level went too far. Spikes, random fish, and the water level changing. Nobody did anything to deserve this. I'm gonna get the bananas even though they can't actually heal me because they're good for my heart and it needs all the help it can get right now. Being a dinosaur is all anybody wants to be. Yeah, this level is horrifying. At least it's short. Poetry, more blues instead. Yeah, I'm allergic to poetry. I don't really get it. I'll take even your music over poetry. Okay, so this guy, we want to kill his left, our right hand first. And then, so this is technically his first stage, and we're supposed to destroy both hands before starting the second stage. But the second stage is harder, and we can damage the core while he's in this stage. So what we're wanting to do is just keep hitting him there, and time it so his grabbing claw doesn't get us. Since he's not got the speediest attack, we can get in a few hits. The slow way to take him on, but it's the safest way. Crab battle! You like good poetry? Is there good poetry, though? So did Shakespeare, you have to like poetry. I mean, I don't know that I classify Shakespeare poetry as good poetry. I'm being ganged up on here. Both of you English language nerds are liking your Shakespeare. Favorite is either the tiger or the little boy lass. Blake's poetry, okay. A poison tree, I don't know that one. Oh, I was looking at chat. That one was on me. I shouldn't have died there. I probably shouldn't have been reading chat during an auto-scroller. At least it was poetry that rhymed. Quite liked Walter Riley's poetry too. He's not a poet, he was a pirate. You're confusing him with somebody else. Poetry and piracy sound similar, but they're not the same thing. Actually, to be honest, on Shakespeare, I don't think I've actually read much of his poetry. I'm not a fan of his plays. The soliloquies ruined them for me. Like, Hamlet? Hamlet is a great story apart from the soliloquies. The soliloquies make it a 0 marks for me. Like, people just stopping and talking about what they're thinking and feeling. His soliloquies are great? No. If he's gonna claim to be the greatest poet of all time, he needs to learn a little thing about show don't tell. You can't just have your characters tell me how they're feeling. That makes me angry. Okay, let me pay attention here, because dying on this boss is embarrassing. He's the easiest of all bosses, ever. I didn't even 2-round him. It's because I'm arguing about Shakespeare. Walter Riley wrote in the tower, but he didn't write much on account of losing his head. Yeah. I didn't know he wrote at all, to be honest. You don't like prose poetry? Look, if it doesn't rhyme, then it's not poetry. Honestly. Unless it's a haiku, those I will allow. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind, suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. I did just oppose a robot fish there, so I guess that's appropriate. I seem to recall that's Hamlet dwelling on whether he should just get on with it already or not. Conscience doth make cowards of us all. I'm not sure I agree with that one, but I don't recognize that quote. Is that from the same soliloquy? I don't recognize that one. Or like, I recognize it, but I can't place it. That could be from anywhere. Get on with it as in, kill himself? Was he contemplating suicide at that point? I thought he was dwelling on the fact that he was probably going to die in the attempt of killing the king. Whether he should accept that life sucks and give up, or go kill some people first. He basically spends the entire play going, should I avenge my father and save the kingdom? Should I, though? Guys, they got killed by a barrel. From the same soliloquy? Okay. I'm starting that one over, guys. Spends the whole play wondering whether we should do stuff. Yeah. Oh, this Shakespeare is killing me. I sat down and properly read Hamlet recently. I know that's probably not the ideal way to experience Shakespeare on account of it being intended to be performed, but hey. And the guy who like annotated it / translated it spent the whole thing nerding out with his footnotes. Talking about how it looked like Hamlet was a flawed character being really hesitant about his decisions and not getting stuff done and generally being useless. But actually he just wanted to make perfectly sure that he was right about who the villain was and that he wasn't being deceived by spirits. And that any indication that Hamlet is not the perfect character is mistaken, because that would imply that Shakespeare is not the perfect writer. Seriously, it went on and on at great length about how it was impossible for there to be any mistakes in Hamlet, because Shakespeare was a flawless writer. And therefore, anything that we thought were mistakes must be wrong. We were wrong about it. Constantly second-guessing, not wanting to make a decision in case it's the wrong one. He's pretty relatable. Fair? I think Hamlet was the best of his plays. It's just soliloquies, too many of them. Just stop pausing all of the action and then turning to the camera and talking about what you're thinking and feeling. It's not how storytelling works. Particularly in a play that already runs a little slow, because Hamlet doesn't like to do things. Because Hamlet spends half the book crying on his bed saying, "I could save the kingdom, if only I could overcome my crippling depression." He's serious. I love how there's no checkpoint after the tank boss. What's up, Tilcat? You wanting to go out? You wanting out, or are you staying in? Off you go, then. What, are you coming back in now? I can't keep the door open, so you gotta pick one. Somebody let me out know that Tilly's here. She loves to shout, "Hi, Tilly." It was written like 400 years ago. Back before they'd invented good writing. I worked in theatre back then, partly because the audience were drunk and needed reminders what was going on. I'm fine with long stories. I'm just saying. There wasn't a lot of action from a lot of Hamlet. There was probably more time... Hamlet probably spent more screen time talking directly to the audience than actually doing stuff. It's an okay play, but it's like maybe it was okay for the time before good storytelling was invented, you know? I'm ragging on Shakespeare a bit because I do know that storytelling is not an art where you think of science as having a place, but storytelling technology has advanced over the years. We've learned how to tell better stories. Back out again? This cat ruining my stream. Off you go. I think she's actually gone this time. She's heading downstairs. Yeah, Shakespeare stuff. If I'm not ragging on him for fun and to wind up you guys, I'll admit that Shakespeare's stuff is good by the standards of the time. I don't think he's the. It's kind of a standing on the shoulders of giants thing, because most of the stuff today is like 1,000 times better than Shakespeare's stuff, but that's because they've got better building blocks. So are they actually better? It depends how you count it. Like, do you really have a better score if you've had better training? Does it count or not? Like how they have to bring in Fortinbras at the end because everyone else is dead. I need a closing monologue, but everyone's dead. Who's left? Quick, bring in Fortinbras! I do like the Animusha reference that Shakespeare worked in there. What is going on tonight? I just walked into the fire. But yeah, Shakespeare manages to work in that if a whole bunch of people die like that, the Demon King Fortinbras is probably going to show up and lay claim to the lands. He's all that's left. Shakespeare is well remembered for complicated reasons, not necessarily because he was great. He's just one of the writers who worked to survive because a few important people decided it was worth recording. I mean, presumably his work got recorded better because it was popular. Honestly, what is happening? I walked into the fire twice. I game over because I walked into the fire twice. I lost all of my lives to walking directly into fire. Shakespeare was popular, but Michael Bay is popular. Okay, now I feel like you might be doing a disservice to Shakespeare. I mean, I'm not crazy on Shakespeare, but comparing him to Michael Bay, ouch. Also, I hear meowing outside my door. Are you serious? Billy Cat, what is up tonight? Honestly. Pick a room, Tilly Cat. Okay, that's fair. Well, while I will grudgingly admit that Shakespeare is not terrible in every possible way, you'll admit that Shakespeare does have flaws. I think I'm gonna change game, guys. Whatever's going on tonight, I'm clearly not up to Rocket Knight Adventure's crazy hard mode standards. The White Devil and Duchess of Malfi, I don't really know either of those. Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm gonna swap game over.